Hello, my name is Deaconess TV, and in this video I will give you a brief summary of some of the characters' lore in the game Overwatch. In this video we will go through the 6 remaining heroes that has not been featured in the previous videos, so let's begin. Starting off with Winston, who is a genetically engineered gorilla, but also a brilliant scientist. The Horizon Luna colony was established as a first step for humanity's renewed exploration of space. Among its residents was a group of enhanced gorillas that was intended to test the effects of prolonged habitation in space. Winston displayed a rapid brain development, so he was taken under the wing of Dr. Harold Winston, but his life was thrown into chaos when the other gorillas led an uprising and they killed the mission scientist. They also claimed the colony for their own. Winston took the name of his beloved caretaker, he built a rocket and escaped to Earth. He found his new home with Overwatch. Let's continue to Lena Oxton, who is known as Tracer within the game. Lena was the youngest person to be included in the Overwatch experimental flight program. She was known as a fearless pilot and was hand-picked to test the prototype of a teleport fighter, the Slipstream. During its first flight, the Matrix malfunctioned and disappeared. Lena was presumed dead. However, a few months later, Lena reappeared, but she was changed. Her molecules had been altered from the flow of time. She was a living ghost, disappearing for hours and sometimes days at a time. She was unable to maintain physical form. Tracer was saved and fixed from a scientist named Winston. He designed the chronal accelerator. This device helped Tracer to be fixed in present time, but also gives her the ability to control her own time. Since Overwatch disbanded, Tracer had continued to fight the good fight wherever the opportunity presents itself. Let's move on to Soldier 76, who is waging a personal war to expose the truth behind Overwatch collapse. For the outside world, his motives are inscrutable. There are those who claim that he is a former Overwatch agent, determined to shed light on the conspiracy that brought down the organization. While his true identity remains a mystery, he is believed to have been trained as a member of the American Soldier Enhancement Program. This is because he possesses a physical capability exceeding those of a conventional soldier. In addition, he utilizing a cutting-edge arsenal, much of it stolen in rage from Overwatch installations. Unrelenting in his search to find those responsible for Overwatch fall, Soldier 76 will stop at nothing to bring them to justice. This is Hana Song. 20 years ago, South Korea was attacked by a colossal omnic monstrosity that rose from the depth of East China Sea. In response, the South Korean government developed a mechanized armed drone unit called Mecha. This was to protect urban environments in future engagement with the omnic threats. Every few years, though, the monstrosities would rise from the sea to assault South Korea and its neighbors. The Omnic was also adapting and reconfigured itself in different forms and with new weapons and capabilities every time it arose. This forced the military to put pilots in the mech. To find suitable candidates, they turned to the country's professional gamers. The gamers had the necessary reflexes and instincts to operate the mech advanced systems. Top stars was drafted, including the world champion Hana Song, also known as D.VA. Seeing her new mission as a game, D.VA fearlessly charged into battle alongside with the rest of her mecha unit. Recently, D.VA has begun to stream combat operation for her adoring fans, and her growing following has turned her into a global icon. Let's travel to Russia, where we meet Alexandra Saryanova, Saria. She's one of the world's strongest women and a celebrated athlete who sacrificed personal glory to protect her family, friends and her country in a time of war. Saria was born in a remote village in Siberia that was on the front line of the Omnic crisis, which began around 39 years ago. Russian forces defeated the robots and shot down their Omnium. However, the region was devastated by the conflict. Growing up, Saria swore she would gain the strength to help her people recover. Mainly focusing on weightlifting and bodybuilding, Saria was identified by the National Athletics Program as a potential star. She trained extensively and she was expected to shatter the long-standing records in the upcoming World Championship. But on the eve of the tournament, an attack came from the long-dormant Siberian Omnium, and her village was thrown into war once again. Alexandra immediately withdrew from the competition and she rushed home to enlist herself in the local defense forces. Now Saria serves as a symbol to some and as a fellow soldier to others, but for herself it's a chance to use her great strength to protect the ones she loves. Our last hero in this video is Bastion. Originally created for peacekeeping purposes, Bastion robot units possess the unique ability to rapidly reconfigure themselves into an assault cannon mode. But during the Omnic crisis they were turned against their human makers, forming the bulk of the Omnic's rebel army. Following the resolution of the crisis, nearly all of them was destroyed or disassembled. To this day, Bastion units still symbolize the horror of the conflict. But one unique Bastion unit that was severely damaged in the final battles of the war was left forgotten for over a decade. Overgrown with vines and roots and nested upon by small animals, the robot sat dormant, seemingly unaware of the passing of time. This was until one fateful day when it unexpectedly reactivated. With its combat programming all but lost, it instead displayed an intense curiosity about the natural world and its inhabitants. Though Bastion appears to be gentle, even harmless, at times its core combat programming takes over when the unit senses danger, utilizing its entire arsenal to eliminate anything that it perceives as a threat. This has led to instances of conflict with the few humans the Bastion unit has encountered, and has driven it to avoid populated areas in favor of the wild.